Hi guys, Barry here, and welcome back to the IGS podcast. Now, this is a little weird because since we've done the rebrand, this is actually, I guess, the first podcast of the IGS brand. But I guess it's still continuing on from the original podcast. So here we have the art and creative director of Ghost Giant from Sonic Games, Olaf Redmalm, if I'm correct.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, hi.
How's it going?
It's great. Celebrating Easter and taking it easy.
Yeah, yeah, it's actually cool. You have the blue screen behind you as well.
Right. Yeah. Actually, yeah. You can put in whatever you want here behind me.
Maybe I'll turn that the sound cord here, behind
Yeah.
you for the crack.
Yeah. Please try that. That would be awesome to see how that works out.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
dinosaurs walking past and yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I guess for people who don't know who you are, tell us a bit about yourself and what you do actually as well at Zoink Games.
I joined Sonic Games for about 2 years and 9 months ago, and I started out as a concept artist and kind of dabbling a little bit in story, helping out with the story for Fe and Flipping Death. If you've seen the hieroglyphs in Fe, the ones that you sing with, I've drawn all of those and worked closely with Andreas Beyer, the creative director of that game, or the game director, with story and to make those work with his vision. And for Ghost Giant, I worked with creative direction and art direction, and just generally worked a lot with narrative design and trying to make everything click from animation to fading down on important story events and casting, talking with actors and directing, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and
like I don't know, like for me personally, I was like, this is the most amazing VR experience I've ever had. Like I'm not even lying to you. I mean, that is the best VR game I've played. And it's like, I don't know if you know, but like I've been a fan of Zoink Games since Second to the Man came out years ago. On
right.
PS4, Wii U, etc. And this is by far my favorite game of Zoink Games. So it's a really, really special game, I must say.
Thank you so much. Really, what warms my heart. I have such a relief that people are like that. It's been so well received, because we were really, it's really scary because it's a new medium for us, and also the story. How will people take that? And it's always tricky, fine balance. You don't know if when it's so story and voice acting heavy and all of that, it doesn't always resonate with everyone, but it seems to have like the majority seems to enjoy it a lot, and that's a big relief, of course, for us, and we're so glad that people understand the vision and what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Now, can I ask? For me, I found the voice acting, in particular, is absolutely spot on. Like it actually, it feels like a genuine, I guess, experience of listening to Lewis or Louis, whatever way you pronounce his name, like a kid. But like, what age was that actor anyway, who played Lewis?
Kim Lin Tran. She voice acted.
Both. There you go.
Yeah. And Maurice is also voice acted by Marianne Miller, who's. I know Kim Lin Tran voice acted Tina in Flipping Death, the crazy girl with bracers who wants to chew everything, and also Karen Kahler or Karen Kaler. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. She voice acted Pauline, the mother, and she is Priscilla in Flipping Death, the agent, crazy agent, old lady. So we have when I started out with Ghost Giant, I was lucky to have access to a library of amazing voice actors from Stick It to the Man and Flipping Death. So we have there are many people who have been in both Flipping Death and Stick It. So, and Zombie Vikings for that matter.
Yeah. Yeah, so like tell us what characters you played as well. What voice acting you done.
I'm the bear that comes jogging through the levers.
Keep poking him.
And who else? There's also the Monsieur Faux, the moose, who wants to put Monsieur Tulip out of business with his plastic flowers, and and who else? I took all the characters that there were a few that we didn't have time to and I always enjoy. I did some voice acting for Flipping Death as well, but it was who else? There was an old lady that you can poke in the market, and there was a final one that I don't remember right now. That's embarrassing, but yeah. I just come to the rescue whenever we need voice acting quickly.
Yeah. So I guess, like, what was it like for you? Like, your experience of actually going from art direction to voice acting, like.
Well, that's it's kind of, it's actually it's very relieving, and especially if you work with it's actually excellent if you. I can recommend it to anyone if at work, if you get an opportunity to just, can I do this NPC? I have some stuff I need to work out, or like you can like, it's a great way to how do you say that? Just if you're very stressed or worked very hard, you can just go into a room and just yell and act out, and it's a great way to get rid of excess energy.
Yeah.
And it's also, especially if, I've been working with directing the actors and casting them together with Sarah B. Elfgren, the writer, and it's interesting when you work with a world that you get to know very, very intimately, and then to get to be a part of it and step into it, and after talking so much to everyone else about how to voice act, it's great to go in and try to be a part of that.
Yeah, seeing as you mentioned Sarah, talk about Sarah. Like, what was it like working with her? Because like, as you know, like, would it be nice to have her on the show today? I did ask her, but she, unfortunately couldn't make it. But but like, what was it like working alongside her? But like, I feel, I guess, like, from a fan's perspective, the writing was.
She's high, by the way. she's hanging out with her family, but
Yeah.
she's as high.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Sarah.
I'll tell her.
Yeah. But like, the writing is so good. But I mean, like, it just seems like everyone just fits perfectly into, like, the kind of the tone and the sense of humor as well in the game.
That's great. Yeah, we wanted to have a writer involved from the very beginning, and not something that you bring in late in the game, late in the development to kind of rescue the game or something. We wanted to work closely with a writer from the get-go, and she and Alexandra Dahlberg, our community manager, they both of them, great gal, and they both they shared a friend in common on Twitter who. I think I did some fan art actually of Sarah B. Elfgren's The Circle, a book trilogy of, it's almost like a Swedish. No, it's about magicians and witches, and but I drew some fan art of that, and I think through that that friend of Sarah and Alexandra. Saw that on Twitter that we were having a talk and a conversation, and she wrote, "Hey, you guys, would it be great if you guys made a game together?" And then maybe we should. And Alexandra brought that to us, and we contacted her, and it was great to work with her. We worked from very organically and very, like, step by step. She played our prototype. We had an early prototype where of just one level with the script that Klaus and I had written together. Klaus Lyngled, who also came up with the idea, the original concept, and what if you were a giant ghost? That's what he and when we brought Sarah onto the project, she tried the prototype, and she sent us. She wrote a new synopsis based on our basic idea, and with a twist. And it was 1 or 2 pages, and the team just loved it, and we all felt very strongly for the theme, and yeah, we were very eager to. Already then we had some scenes like the cloud scene and the shrinking scene and all kind. There were different story beats already then in that synopsis that we were like, oh, this scene, I look forward to making this scene. And the process was very, she would give the synopsis to me, I would write puzzles and a first draft and of like a series of interesting events, and then I would give that to her, and she was like, oh, okay, I see. Could this thing be this instead, because it fits the character better? And then she would write dialogue and send it to me, and we would feedback back and forth like that. And then finally we would sit down with Sebastian Strand, our producer, who had the tough job of cutting a lot of stuff for our own best. It's so much thanks to him that we had time to finish this it's almost a year we worked on this game, plus the time we spent on the prototype that didn't appear. So yeah, it's been great, and yeah, Sarah's really a strong personality with like she's really confident and like, yeah, no, this will work, and for us to trust her and just go with it, and because it's scary to not know where if the emotional impact will work, and some scenes will work, because you can't just bring out the characters and try out the scene, or the actors and try out the scene. It's just because you have to wait for animation, and you have to wait for voice acting, and how does it feel in VR, and all of that. So there's a lot of tweaking back and forth, and a lot of sometimes rewrites and cutting some dialogue to make scenes a bit shorter, and yeah, a lot of stuff like that as usual. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, it's been a pleasure to work with Sarah and yeah, the whole gang.
Awesome. So yeah, there will be some well, I guess spoilers in this podcast, I guess, about the story, because I want to talk about like that
spoilers.
like clouds, yeah. Like that cloud scene is just magical. Like making it rain.
Which one did you say?
The cloud scene, where like you're making the seeds, putting the seeds down, and then the whole kind of cloud body. It's just so cool, just doing that there, like I'm making them feel sick.
yeah. But people. When I watch some streams, it's really fun to see people's reactions and see how people understand the game, because we had some playtesters, but it's really for real when you see someone play it who's not in our studio trying it, or and often people are so careful when they pick up the cloud. They're like pulling Louis like this, and I was like, oh no, because he says not too fast, but I really hope people will like lasso him around, because it's more fun that way. But people usually are very, very, very careful, and that's great too. But yeah.
But like you can of course see I guess the whole playthrough of the game on my channel, and it was just so much fun. And now I want to ask, I'm guessing it's very kind of dark, this kind of question. Like, tell us about, I guess, Lewis's mother's, I guess, her health in the game. Her character. Like, what actually goes on with her at, towards the end of the game?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. She I mean, she's been, as Louis says, sometimes she gets very sad, really sad, and he says that it's never been this bad before. She has had fits, and I mean, she has been sad before, but something is usually. I guess she's just been going too long without the help she needs, and has just been hiding away. And Sarah, she got the inspiration for the story when reading an article about a kid who had to take care of his siblings because his parents weren't able to, and just it's apparently a common thing that children taking on too much responsibility when the parents are unable to, and so it felt like a relatable story to many that made sense to explore and tell, and a challenge to Sarah as well. And definitely and again, sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. But
Okay.
yeah, and yeah, she also spoke to a child psychiatrist to just go through the script and see that it made sense, and
Yeah.
and yeah, it did, and no, but yeah, and Ghost Giant is generally a story about getting daring to ask for help, and you know, what is it to be strong, and not necessarily lifting mountains or rocks,
Yeah.
big rock, and yeah, and asking for help and being brave, and yeah, I think I really loved how Sarah, you know, how she mixed that kind of sensibility, that sensitivity with a super strength hero story, kind of, or
Yeah.
like you have, even though you're so big and so strong, you have to be careful, and like it's a nice contrast, I think, and it also is very poignant that you yeah, you help him through all of these puzzles, and like but it's not enough, you know, it's not enough in the end, and sometimes you just can't take everything on your shoulders, and you have to let someone in. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's. Don't take this, I guess, the wrong way, but it's nice to see, I guess, like another developer bring in like mental health issues into a game, you know, but that has like a nice story as well to it, like, you know, and I. I was honestly just like so surprised that he's brought in her health, and like, and it doesn't matter how big you are or how small you are in the game, even though you shrink like into the grass, like you're powerless to help sometimes, you know, you can't help.
Right. Yeah.
And
That, yeah, it doesn't matter how. Yeah.
it doesn't, like, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter, you know. And yeah, I don't want to change. Okay, sorry to change the tone, but like I asked on Twitter as well about any questions for you, and someone said here, Gary as well, if you have the if you have to say something positive to inspire people who want to get into the video game industry, what would you say?
That I think it's there's so much possibility to yeah, like I started out as a comic artist, and I actually applied for a comic school because they said they would teach me to draw, to make concept art, and I really wanted to become a game developer, and I draw comics as a kid, and I thought that was fun, so I did that. And of course, it's really hard to make it as a concept artist. I don't know as much about that, even though I worked for a lot of years as trying to survive as a comic artist, and but it made a lot of sense to take that step from comics to games, because you learn to draw characters over and over, and at least as an artist, and you get an understanding for animation and storyboard. I do some storyboarding as well for both Ghost Giant and an upcoming project, and just or I mean, any art experience before is great, or if you want to become a programmer, there's a lot of great schools, and but I think that as long as you get into a school, and if you're an artist, get to learn some 3D, and just get to learn a little bit more about the industry, and get in touch with some people. For me, it was through school. I went to the Game Assembly in Malmö. They're opening an international school in I think in Stockholm now, which is great. But yeah, I felt like after going there, it felt like so many doors open to me. Suddenly, before that, I felt so like lost. I didn't know where to look. I didn't know where to begin. But if you just find a good game education, or just, if you're an artist, learn 3D through a course, or looking at YouTube videos, or there's suddenly so much more possibility, I think, and it's really, yeah, you know, video games are doing great. It's a big thing, and here in Sweden, people are beginning to catch up. Like, oh wow, games are actually a thing. Like video games are actually a big boom, and
Yeah.
it's beginning to be taken more seriously. I know, for instance, we had an intern here who said it was much harder in Germany. She comes from Germany. Katharina Wunder. She made the like the big. She made the whole apartment complex work in the district where you have Debussy, the one that you hoist and you rotate around, and she worked a lot with and all the sunflowers. She made the sunflowers very nice to pull out of the. But yeah, she there's apparently a lot harder to find education for games specifically there. But I think if you find something close enough and just start sending out your portfolio, make a great portfolio and start sending it out, and even if you want to become a concept artist, it's great to work with 2D art. It's great to get an understanding for 3D art and what the 3D, even if you won't be working with 3D in the future, it's great to know what the 3D artists will need from you in terms of concept art, and to make yes. So it was a bit long, but yeah, I've been thinking about a lot about this, and I know how it is to struggle but yeah, the video games industry is growing, and there's a lot of possibilities. So it's just a matter of finding where to get your foot in, kind of, and then it's just a snowball effect.
Yeah. No, so I guess talk about working with Perp Games. That was pretty cool. Getting the physical release. Like, I ordered the I guess the limited edition with the vinyl, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting. But obviously, but I can't wait to get it.
Right. Me too. Yeah. So, yeah, it's been excellent. They're so good. Sorry.
Oh no, go on ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah, they've been really, really good and really excellent, and just so nice and so helpful, and they've been helping us with the artwork for the layout for the art book and the cover of the game, yeah, it's been so positive and so happy to work with us on this game, and it's just a great honor to be up there with Moss, who is from the same publisher, and to hold your game. It's a great. I think I have it here.
Have you
somewhere.
got a copy? Oh, I want to see.
I just have to lift it. It's under. I have it here somewhere. I've created a table. Sorry.
You're grand.
Sorry, maybe some other time.
Oh yeah.
Actually under a bunch of boxes here, but yeah.
Oh, okay. But no, I can't wait, because I just love owning physical games more so than digital. Like,
Yeah.
It's just something so special about owning a physical game, I think.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So the game is VR based, and it's Sonic's first time doing VR, and I think it's a massive success. It's a great experience, and what people want to see, and this anyway, is the game running on Labo somehow on Nintendo Switch.
Right. I hope. Yeah, I mean, it's a PSVR exclusive, but of course, it would have been awesome if it worked. Yeah.
Yeah, but that would be pretty cool. I just think for me, it doesn't matter about I guess visually, or I just want to play the game, or even give us like I showed you before with the whole Sans Core thing. Even make this physically possible to turn around so I can use it on my Switch. The whole YouTube thing.
I heard
it's cool.
With that one, you can still the controller works work as a move controller, right? But you can only have one hand. I think you wouldn't be able to have two hands.
Yeah.
I think.
So there's you there as well. you and Alex.
So meta. Nice.
But yeah. So have you any? Okay, I don't want to ask this, but have you any plans down the line for more VR games, or do you want to take a break, if that makes any sense? Was it more work for you guys? or was it like the same amount of work? If that makes any sense.
I would. No, it was the same amount of work. It was just a lot of inventing, because VR it was really fun to work with VR, especially because it is so unexplored, and also because of the new level of immersion you can bring to a story. I'm not sure if it would have worked as well, if, definitely, it's so important that for you to be able to move your head and explore the world that way, and poking Louis is more direct and effective that way, I think, and I think it would have but just generally it was more work in the way that we had to experiment and invent and a lot of new stuff. But in the end, after once we got that going for us, it was pretty straightforward and not much different from a regular game, other than having to take on and off the headset to test the game and see because it's like, I guess it's one of the hardest things is like the most difficult thing for our artists, I think, both like with particle effects and with characters and the environment. It's so different looking at your screen and working in Unity and then going into the headset like, oh, that's what it actually looks like, so that was a little bit of an extra tricky step, but I think no, like everybody have just, if anything, we've just become more eager to work more with VR. We're currently working on a new flat screen title, which is taking a lot of manpower. So right now we're mostly just bouncing ideas and dreaming, and who knows, we might who knows what we will do if we were definitely open to more VR games and talking a lot about it, and everyone is coming with different ideas, and everything from new settings to Ghost Giant 2. It's definitely interesting to us, and Klaus is like the biggest VR geek I've met. He's coming like every other day and like, I tried this new boxing game, and you want to Beat Saber for lunch, and so he was the biggest believer when we first started out, and like, I want to make a VR game, try something new, and it seems to have such great potential for immersion, and he also we saw that there aren't that many narrative-driven, like heavily narrative-driven games on VR platforms. There's mostly a lot of action and great gameplay, but not so much in this way of storytelling. And we felt like there was a lot to explore there, and try to make something old but new in VR. Take our puzzle games to the VR world, poke and click to poke and grab. I mean, it's a point and click to poke and grab.
Yeah. By the way, your impression of Klaus is spot on. With the way it goes on, I love Klaus. He's been on the show, a couple of times before. He's great. And have you ever considered or even like messed with like games like even like Flipping Death? Stick to the Man, actually bringing them into like a 3D world, a VR experience. Like, have you ever tried doing that? Because like for me, like first, I guess my first impression of I guess physically moving into Ghost Giant was like, oh my god, it just feels like a bit of Fee, a bit of Stick to the Man, kind of visually, and like I'm just started thinking it'd be so cool to see them played. Well, Stick to the Man in VR.
Yeah. I think actually the first things we tried out was actually putting. I think it was Stick to. I don't remember if it was Stick to the Man or Flipping Death we put into VR just to look at it and see how it feels, and we used actually assets from Flipping Death for the first prototype. You can see some moss hanging from buildings in there. You can actually see clips from it in the first announcement trailer. You can see clips from the prototype that didn't end up in the final game. There are a bunch of bushes and stuff from Flipping Death that we reused in the prototype. But in the final project, everything is built from scratch, and it's definitely like the first. It's like a merge of it's where Fe and Flipping Death and Stick to the Man meet in a full 3D and this cardboard style, and it made sense to bring that cardboard style to this story as well. Since as a kid, we thought, what would this look like if a kid built this world, if Louis built this world, and as a kid building Lego or building your worlds, playing video games, it would be a place to kind of immerse yourself and disappear into when life was tough, and that's kind of what Louis is doing as well, kind of. So, but yeah, stick to the man for VR. I will try to push that concept for Klaus. And, their platform. Yeah, we could play a platform game in VR.
And that'd be cool.
Yeah, I wonder if you would get sick though from the camera panning a lot.
Yeah, because you haven't got the actual, the freedom to actually move the camera yourself. So
yeah,
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what it'd be like, just like from a prototype point of view.
Yeah, maybe if you had like Stick to the Man lined up like this, the game more curved.
Yeah,
and you would look around on it like you did in Ghost Giant, and like play like this with a DualShock, or like and watch Ray move around like that, maybe.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
So actually, seeing as you brought up the I guess the announcement trailer, like I noticed there was a one or two kind of towns or like buildings that wasn't in the final piece.
Yeah, that was the prototype.
Yeah. Like, what was the decision? Like, what was like there was different characters there as well, wasn't there? Made for that prototype, but like what was the decision to take? I guess those characters, those buildings out of the game. Like, what was going on there? Can I ask? Like, what was the story behind them, or do you know anything?
Yeah. We started making a prototype with a small team, and led by Klaus Lyngled, and we it was more in the Flipping Death, Stick it to the Man feeling and atmosphere. But when we showed that prototype to Sarah, like the colors, the pastel colors, and kind of made her think of older French movies and musicals from the 60s or 50s, and she thought by changing the setting to a French setting, and also set in the 60s, Ghost Giant is set in a kind of fictional France in the 60s. She thought that it would bring some kind of new feel to it. She just had a hunch, and she asked us to try making a mood board, and I did, try and collect different pictures of picturesque French small villages and old clothing and cars and so on, and what we ended up with was more countryside, more lush colors, and it kind of fit the mood and atmosphere of the story as well better. It's more it felt more just fitting of the mood and the melancholy tone of the story. And it pushed us to try something new style wise as well. And we brought, I don't think any of those characters ended up in the final game either, because they had also a slightly different style to them. They were more jagged and edgy, or like they had sharper edges, and we made them look more soft in the final game.
Yeah. I guess talk about the music as well. Like the music from is it Joel you call him? Or Joel?
Yeah, you will be.
Yeah. Like it's beautiful. Yeah, you will. I call him. I know, like Joel. Just for me, it's just the way it's spelled. We say Joel, but
Joel is probably good too.
Yeah. No, but it's beautiful. That is the music for it. Like I know the music was actually made, prior to the game at all. It had nothing to do with it at all. With his band.
Some of the tracks were made before the game, and and he was back then he was still working on Fe, the final stages of Fe, and he brought this to us, that this project he'd been working on his free time, and said this would probably fit, and it also kind of fit better there. Like before, we had a more jazzy soundtrack in mind for Ghost Giant, but then also it just clicked with the French style as well. This kind of this music he had for us, and the theme for Ghost Giant was already there, and we were like, oh, this thing could be the Ghost Giant theme, and this could be Pauline's theme, and this, we need to play this bit of the song when the cloud during the cloud scene. We already done it. It gave us a lot of energy and an extra push to. It was great to have both the synopsis and the music to work towards. To like, we know already that this will probably work very well if we just can get over there. But they've been great, and he has also been writing new music while we were working on the game that were especially like that was composed specifically for some scenes.
Mm-hmm.
He and I worked closely on the timing and of the piano in the intro, and we wanted at first we had a kind of stressful music going there. We tried different things. He had like a dun 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 dun, like a more stressful music there in the beginning of, and it became almost like a one of those silent movies, kind of comedic. It was kind of funny, but then Sarah suggested try listening to. We actually took inspiration from, I think, the intro of Spirited Away. There's a very calm piano, and I thought that calm fit in contrast to it's very panicky. Louise is screaming, and the Ghost Giant is big and scary, but the music is telling us that it's okay, it's all right, it's gonna be fine. Look, he's drowning, but it's gonna be fine. So there was a lot of fun working with Joel, and it always is, and it's really a big part of the Zoink atmosphere.
Yeah. Now, I guess, like another spoiler again. Talk about the very end scene, where Lewis's friend, what's he called again? Sorry, his best friend.
Maurice.
Yeah, Maurice. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Like the fact that he can see, the ghost, and then the whole like what is it, like his spirit goes into Lewis, kind of like you get that kind of feeling. Like, what happens there?
Well, I think I'm actually the thing about Maurice seeing the Ghost Giant is actually a bit up to it's up to I would say my personal interpretation is that it's that he, and after all this time, after finally seeing what ails Louis and his mom, and after they received help, then after he's opened up, then Maurice can finally see the Ghost Giant, his kind of strength and superpower, and just like in the beginning, the Ghost Giant appears out of Louis' tears. He's created out of Louis, and back to Louis he goes in the end, or it goes, and I mean they're very much part of each other. He's basically Louis' courage and strength and bravery personified, I would say. Yeah.
Like, it was so cool, I guess, trying to see how far I could stretch the ghost's arms. See, like I love about the loading screens in particular. You can like wave your hands around, mess with it.
Yeah, draw rocket ships.
Yeah, like the whole kind of stars kind of feeling. Like even the main menu. Like, I'm there going, oh my god, this is incredible. You can pick up stuff and throw it away. It's just so much fun. Like.
Yeah. We wish we had more time to do even more of that. It would have been great to, and having too much physical objects can also affect performance, and we really wanted to push the amount of stuff you could pick up and throw around, and yeah, the very last thing we made for the game was the credits scene with the photos rolling by, and I'm really happy we had time to do that, to get a kind of what happened then scenario.
Yeah, have you any plans to, I guess, like sell like little toys and stuff? You know, like even like a plush of the Ghost Giant and stuff. You know, like
Definitely be awesome. We're actually looking into it, but can't make any promises because it can be expensive to produce, and it depends on how well everything goes, and if the demand is high enough. So that would be cool. But at least we have the LP. That's that I'm very happy about.
Yeah, really amazing, I think. And I guess, you know, you can of course buy this game, I guess, on Amazon. You know, on Perp Games, you can get the limited edition there. And in the States, is it Walmart or Target? I can't remember exactly what it is. In America, what shop? Yeah, but you can get it online as well. And I guess, you know, just before we go, thanks for coming on the show as well. I just have to talk about what you're wearing, your T-shirt. What do you think about Star Wars? I cannot wait.
It's my sanctuary. Like there's no use discussing Star Wars with me. I would get very defensive. Like, or I mean, if it's like I can't. Everything is just awesome about Star Wars. All
I
the
love
movies
Star
are
Wars
great.
as well. Like I didn't find Phantom Menace was like my first proper experience of Star Wars, and I love Phantom Menace personally. Darth Maul was amazing, you know, and Mr. Jar Jar Binks, Mr. After this, I like Jar Jar. I never had a problem with him. Like,
yeah. It's great to see how the generation that grew up with those movies are growing up to stand up for those movies, and yeah, I really like that they brought back Darth Maul as well. There's some really great scenes in
Rogue One,
Star Wars Rebels, and have you seen Star Wars Rebels?
No, I've seen a bit of the cartoon, you know, but I haven't seen it all. Like, but
has some really great scenes with Darth Maul there, and with Obi-Wan and the Emperor and stuff, and it's a really great character art and a character arc. Art as well. Yeah, and I love the trailer. I can't wait to, of course, that laughter, and the trailer made me drop everything else about like Ghost Giant reviews, everything like, oh, the trailer.
I know,
like,
yeah. But see, the thing is, for me, they ruined the whole Palpatine thing, because like once they revealed that at the Star Wars Celebration event, they brought Ian McDiarmid out on stage. Why?
Yeah, right. It kind of spoils
the mystery of it. Like they should have left it. But I really think the whole, like the title of the movie, The Rise of Skywalker, I really do believe we're going to see Anakin Skywalker back again in some form. I really think it's going to be a big surprise. But I really think he'd be back. Christian Haydenson, whatever you call him.
Christian Haydenson. Yeah. I think and that. But also that the fact that they show Palpatine so soon, I think, tells that they have a lot of other stuff as well in store for us. You know, that there are even bigger stuff. And you know, for me, the trailers are part of the experience. Like some people want to keep away from the trailers to not spoil anything, but I think trailers have gotten so great lately, so they become part of the whole. Like to me. The build up there is like part of the movie, kind of. But I wonder how I would have, how would I have, what would I have thought about Force Awakens and The Last Jedi if I had no expectations, hadn't seen any trailers or any posters or anything.
Yeah. Like I personally am a fan of Force Awakens and Last Jedi.
Yeah, me too.
So have you ever considered? Sorry, I know I'm holding you up. Have you ever considered doing like a sci-fi kind of game? If that makes any sense? Like even like set up in space, like a Zoink game set up in space. like your style, like your comic and stuff. You know, your comedy, like be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. So far, we haven't spoken a lot about sci-fi actually. If anything, yeah. But well, not like, well, definitely sci-fi, but not not high sci-fi. But we do bring up Star Wars a lot. At least I do. It's kind of my thing at the office. People roll their eyes because my reference frames are like Star Wars, and it's great. Like, yeah, it's almost like that scene in like, yeah. but but yeah, we're working on some very some epic stories right now. I can say that much.
Well, look, if you ever want to, collaborate and do like a Star Wars kind of space game, I'm all there, baby.
Right. I just need to learn how to program. Yeah. I can just make art, or we need to find a programmer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think actually, Zoink was actually we're this close to make a Star Wars game for like before Stick to the Man, but someone else, some other company beat us to it. But we were in talks about making a phone game, for a Star Wars phone game. I wasn't working there then, but yeah, that was before Stick to the Man, and yeah. So that's a bit of a shame. I would have, or I mean, I would have also, if they would have made a Star Wars game before I joined Zoink, that would have made me very sad.
That's cool. So I guess, thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Where can we find you on social media?
Olov R, like Olov R, so OLOVR on both Twitter and Instagram. I post more art stuff on Instagram, some personal stuff, and yeah.
All right, guys. So thanks for coming on. I will, of course, leave links in the description below if you want to, check his pages out. Follow him there on Instagram, Twitter, and do, of course, follow Zoink Games and Thunderful as well. Because they have some great content coming out, and next week I'm looking forward to seeing the release of SteamWorld Quest. From Edmonton Forum.
Oh yeah.
I have it on my Switch, but I just can't wait to play, reveal more content, on the game. So yeah, thanks for watching. You can, of course, check us out on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. And I guess for more podcasts and gaming, keep it right here at IGS. All right, guys, see you later. Bye.
See you. Take care. Thanks.